Hey everybody, what's up? Circus here coming at you with I guess a meta update. We just had our first post ban list tournament. Rye is hot off a battle phase Monday. We
Just ended.
saw all kinds of things. Yeah, it literally just ended. I wanted to get him in here and do just a hot take video so you guys can see or hear what's been going on. A lot of different stuff. Right now on the screen we got Noble Knights, so let's start there. How'd they do?
Yeah, so Noble Knights made it to top 8. Our very own Mythyard
Mm-hmm.
made it to top 8 with a very interesting build, more of a back row oriented build with a lot of cards and restart. So it's basically like discount shirt Nui
Oh
that he was
God.
essentially
Of course
playing.
it is. Why wouldn't it
Or not
be?
shirt Nui, sorry, Karakuri.
Karakuri. Yeah, why
Yeah,
wouldn't it
Karakuri.
be?
Yeah, so that was really interesting to see. He did ultimately lose in the game he lost. The first game he lost to Raigeki Break, and he lost to Karma Cut just going turn 2.
Okay.
So his build was really, really strong when he went turn 1, but turn 2 seemed to be a little lacking. I think moving forward, we might see more like Forbidden Lance and stuff, especially if
Mm-hmm.
that build becomes popular. I don't know if that build will come popular. We'll kind of see as the game continues. But for top 8 on its first tournament, that's a pretty good run. Then again, everyone didn't know what the meta was, so everyone's playing like a bunch of random cards.
Oh,
So
it was varied tonight. Everything was just all
yeah,
over the place. Like,
so
tell them who won. I was kind of surprised.
the Blue Eyes White Dragon
Yeah.
won the whole thing. Blue Eyes versus Trimid in the final, and I do believe that Blue Eyes won Mumu's tournament earlier, if I'm not mistaken, or one of the tournaments earlier today that happened in the morning. So 2 tournament wins in one day. Blue Eyes looking really good, but it was like a back row Blue Eyes with lots of Karma Cuts, Raigeki Breaks,
Okay.
Hollowed Life Barrier, those kind of discard traps to really,
Hmm.
you know, get on in there. It does seem like we're entering kind of an OTK focused meta. And discard traps are really good at stopping that OTK. Lots
Okay.
of Sidra. Sidra in top 32 was by far the most represented deck in the top 32
I was
at
gonna ask
5.
you, how did that one do? Because that is negative one's pick to be a tier one
Yeah,
going into the new meta.
I could see it happening. I believe they got to top 2, or I'm sorry, top 4,
Hmm.
and they lost to that winner, the Blue Eyes winner. I think that Blue Eyes player had a really good deck to counter Cyber Dragon with Sphere Karibo. I think Sphere Karibo is going to spike in popularity
It's just
because
gonna
it
have
literally,
to, right? Because all the
yeah,
OTKs and
yeah, it won the mirror of Sidra, and then it won the Blue Eyes Sidra matchup. Otherwise, Sidra would have been in the finals without Sphere. So
okay.
that was really, really strong. So expect to see more Sphere Karibo as the meta enters. Ritual Beast, that was another deck that people were thinking, okay, Ritual Beast is coming back in. But Ritual Beast, there's, I don't know, Chaos Hunter, Lancia, Poisonous Wind. Everyone literally cited those decks, those cards today because they were like, oh, I think Ritual Beast is going to come back strong. And they just all cited it. And I
Right.
think they were the second most represented deck in top 32. But
Oh
once they
wow.
got there, it was hard. It was really, really hard because there was just counters everywhere. Now that you don't have to counter for system down.
Hmm.
So, you know, the Ritual Beasts are still Ritual Beasts. They die to side deck. If this was no side deck, Ritual Beast would have probably popped off, I think. But
Okay.
we'll see
Was
how
it?
that goes.
Were there any surprises?
Um,
I
I
mean,
mean, I
we had
guess everything
Trimids in the finals. That's kind of a
Yeah,
surprise, right?
Tri-Meds is kind of a surprise, but they had a weird path to finals. I don't know if it'll be consistent enough to constantly do it. I think Tri-Meds is just a deck that's really consistent because of balance, and in a game where, or a meta game where everyone's playing everything. Um, Tri-Mids usually does better. Tri-Mids, Blue Eyes, Sidra, those decks usually do better when it's a chaotic meta.
Right.
So we'll
Which
have
it's
to
gonna be
see.
for the next week at least. It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. I don't want to see this power ranking.
Yeah. It's gonna be all
This
everything. Yeah. The high
is gonna
score
be
is gonna
one
be
of those,
12. You know.
yeah, those are gonna be one of those power rankings that's all wonky.
Yep.
Um, but of course, first tournaments, you don't want to pull too many thoughts on it. But the things that I would take away from this meta, destruction effects seem to be coming back strong. TTH, Raigeki Break, the Noble
Okay.
Knight pops,
So
all of those.
trap based, not necessarily monster based.
Well, the Noble Knight pops, the Blue Eyes Alternate Dragon pop.
Okay.
It's just in general, monster
Just
destruction is very
monster
powerful,
destruction.
and I
Okay.
think that's directly because the two biggest boss monster, Casitas and Sansaga, are essentially gone. We saw a Shiranui today that did go 3-2. It was a combo Shiranui that went 3-2, but he was struggling to
Oh,
get
I'm
those
sure.
wins,
Yeah.
and he literally just faced Weather Painters, and his deck space was so tight just to play the game that he could not do anything to weather painters at that point.
Oh
And
wow.
I don't even think you could side deck in that situation. I don't think he can afford to side deck. It's just way the space is way too tight. Um,
But real quick, going back to the monster destruction, I think we were talking about Forbidden Lands maybe being a big
yeah.
deal moving
So Forbidden
forward.
Lance is good because it's reactionary or can be used reactionary. Where
Hmm.
Cosmic, you have to guess. For example, so if there's two set cards, you have to guess which one you want to hit. Let's say one's bluff and one's Raigeki break. You have to guess which one's the Raigeki break. Forbidden Lance, on the other hand, once you play your monster, they use the Raigeki break, so it wastes it, and then you activate Lance, guaranteeing the effect doesn't go through. Obviously, when there's triple set, that's a different story. You know, you can just
Right.
doubles, you know, and you're good to go. But Forbidden Lance seems to be one of those cards that might have to be played in a lot more decks, which is interesting because decks like Sidra can't really play Forbidden Lance. They
Right.
need, because then you can't fuse with them and stuff. So it'll be really interesting to see. I think Forbidden Lance is going to go up. I think Sphere Karibo is going to go up just because of the destruction effects and, you know, taking too much damage for OTK.
You mentioned Shiranui was struggling today. What about do we see like Magician Girls, any kind of invoked, or like Roids, any of that
Saw
kind of stuff?
Invoked. We saw a lot of Magician and Invoked, and they looked really bad. Really bad.
You don't know
Um,
how happy you just made a bunch of people.
so they're just having trouble getting to their Purgatrio. A lot of them just made Magillencia in defense and passed, and that's not a Casitas, right?
Yeah, it's
Like
not
I
the
said, the
same, is it?
Raigeki Break, the Karma Cuts, they're all very active and vulnerable. Even if they have crazy back row, it usually didn't matter because you just grind through the back row and they don't create Purgatrio fast enough to get to that point. I don't see, I don't think Invoked is gonna,
Not gonna
it,
make it, huh?
yeah,
But
none
that's a
top.
good thing. That's what we've been
That's
wanting.
good. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think it's good for for the game. Um, so I think Invoked, I think they're done.
That's
But
good.
we'll see. We'll see. I
We'll
don't know.
see.
Maybe
We'll
there's
see.
a new Invoked build all of a sudden
Hmm.
that, you know, doesn't revolve around Casitas. But really, like, yeah, Purgatrio is annoying. But the only deck that it was like super bad in was Element Saber because they could literally just Sorcery's Conduit, like at full power Sorcery Conduit, whatever,
Hmm.
and go into fire immediately, right? Barrier Girls, the only way you get to choose your element is if your opponent misplays into you. So if you just never misplay into them, they're literally just passing until you win the game. So you're good.
What was the one? Oh, Crystron's. I know we saw Crystron's on stream. They were struggling too, weren't they?
Yeah, so see self attack's dead. Level duplication is the way to go. And like I said, Bryonic Turbo, it's Bryonic Turbo.
It is what it is.
Yeah, like it's, you know, when Bryonic worked, they win. When Bryonic didn't work, they lost. So, and I think that's just the way it is now. You
Their
want your
path to
wielder,
Brio
level
was easier
duplication.
before. Now it's kind of
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah,
little
well, I
bit
mean,
muddier.
The Brio path is still the same.
Okay.
But the follow up is just not there because
Oh, right, right.
Citry can't stall until you get, you know, Bryo TK. There's only one Citry most of the time, maybe two Citry. I've been seeing one Citry. He was, so the Crystron that topped was undefeated in Swiss and then immediate loss in top 32.
Do you remember what he lost to?
I do not
Okay.
actually.
All right.
We can check it later.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, especially if Blue Eyes becomes meta. Um, Crystrons do not have a good Blue Eyes matchup. It's really hard for
Hmm.
them because the Spirit Dragon will negate their graveyard effects, and they're already behind on their graveyard effects now because they can't send as many cards to the graveyard because they're banned from the game. So I don't know, man. Crystrons, you're. I still see it. The Bryonic OTK is still there, but that stally play from Crystrons is severely lacking now.
Okay. Moving on to Karakuri. Did we see any of that today? I mean, we had to have, right? Some people had to try it.
I think we saw one.
One. Oh my god.
And I think he got disqualified for an illegal deck list.
Okay.
I think. I'm not sure.
I know merchants at one,
Uh,
but I'm gonna play it at three. They won't mind.
dude, Karakuri, someone did the math like before with restart. It was like a 40, 50%, some crazy chance to actually open up well,
Hmm.
like with merchant. And now it's like a 19%
Oh
chance.
jeez. So yeah, there's no reason to play it.
It's dead. I think yeah, Karakuri's dead.
Oh, I think how
Uh,
many people are upset after reinvesting in the deck. You know,
yeah.
it's only a few months old.
Yeah.
Uh,
Maybe we'll see some, but Karakuri is the one, like, of all the decks, like maybe an Invoke build comes out, maybe a crazy Shiranui OTK combo comes out. I just don't see a way Karakuri comes out. It was already so rigid before, and now it's, yeah, it's dead. It's dead, Chief.
All right. So overall, what's your impression of the meta? I know it's so fresh; it's just crazy right now. Give us some hot takes.
Hot takes: OTK based meta incoming.
Hmm.
So cards like Hollow Life Barrier, Sphere Karibo, anything like that is going to be huge. Uh, I think decks that are slower are going to um, be kind of punished for that. And I think decks like Heroes, Sidras, Blue Eyes, the ones that can be aggressive and still play that disruptive back row, Overflow, Raigeki Break. Raigeki Break is literally useless on everybody except Blue Eyes, right? Because you get that advantage when you discard.
Hmm.
It wins you games. So you can't really play Raigeki Break on other decks because we lost a lot of advantage. So I think decks like that will be really good. And I think Noble Knights will be, they're not going to be a deck that are going to be forgotten. That's my hot take of the day. I think people are going to continue to play that deck. It seems really, really good. It's really free to play friendly. And making it top 8 in the first tournament is really good. Now let's see if it can continue. I think it will. Especially when the main mini box comes out and they give us more support.
We're on the Noble Night Watch. That's
We're
what
on the Noble Knight watch. Let's
the
go,
night
boys.
the Noble Night Watch. All right, guys. I hope you liked the video. We want to take a second though. I know Ryan's pretty excited. I'm excited. Uh, Probably when you're seeing this would be yesterday was our biggest day on Twitch, our biggest day on YouTube, and I just want to shout out everybody that's been supporting us with a big thank you. Without your support, we wouldn't be here and be doing so well. So thank you for
Mhm.
helping us out. So, got anything to say, Rye?
No, thank you to all the DLE moderators, the DLE staff, PDS Kamel. You guys have been working hard to make today an excellent day with the YouTube, the Twitch. Thank you to Mythyard for entering the tournament and slapping everyone's cheeks around to show the power of Noble Knights so we can shut chat up. Let's go. And yeah, the whole DLE team really came together. No, we didn't even say anything. Literally, just everyone showed up because they were excited about Duel Links. And I
Yeah,
think that's so
Banless
cool.
dropped at midnight, and we've been going almost 24 hours straight now, just
I was
releasing
literally
videos,
in my
streaming, and
I
yeah.
was in my bed. I get a call from Kamel. No, 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 no. Oh, hello, Kamel. Man, they're Noble Knights. They're out. I'm like, oh my god.
And that's when it started. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
just we've been going
nonstop.
pretty much nonstop. So yeah, it's been a wild ride, and this is pretty much the end of it here. So hope you guys enjoyed our day of Noble Knights and ban list content. So
There you
if
go.
you do, make sure to subscribe here on YouTube and make sure to follow us on Twitch. Get in our Discord; it's free. Our tournaments are free. Make sure to do that. Get in the new player channel. Ask your questions there. And what else? Oh yeah, Damage Step's coming up on Saturday. That's a huge thing. That's
Saturday.
Rise tournament. $5 entry fee, but you can win like $300, right?
It's getting there. I think it's actually a little bit higher now. I'll have
Nice.
to double check the what we got.
And that's on Saturday, so get in there. And we're gonna get out of here. So I'm Circus, and that's
Bye,
Rye.
YouTube. Noble Knight best deck.
See ya.